Hi, welcome. Enjoy the content, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Sarah got home from work with a faint smile on her lips. She left her shoes in the corner of the living room and went straight to the bathroom, where she spent nearly 40 minutes getting ready. Michael was finishing up dinner, and even though he hadn't expected any special reason for her extra effort, he thought it was sweet of her. Lately, the two of them had been drifting apart a little. Routine had taken over, like it often does in many marriages. Still, he believed this dinner might rekindle something, maybe bring back a bit of their old ease. They sat down at the table. The initial silence between them was normal. Both were tired from the week. Between bites, Sarah started talking about the office, possible internal restructurings, layoffs, new goals, and a potential leadership position that might open up. Michael listened closely, interested. She had always been ambitious, and he admired that her career mattered. But as she kept talking, the details started to feel uncomfortable. She said Brandon, her boss, would be the one deciding who got promoted. She mentioned he didn't show clear preference for anyone, but he kept a selective closeness with certain female employees. Michael wasn't sure where this was going, but he stayed quiet. Sarah put her fork down, looked him straight in the eye, and said what she'd been rehearsing for weeks. She told him she'd made a decision that might sound crazy at first, but that it was strategic, rational, and even selfless. She said that on Friday after work, she'd be meeting Brandon at a hotel. He had invited her, and she had accepted. She explained it would be a one-time thing, no emotional involvement, no real consequences. She'd do it for both of them to ensure stability. She said she was tired of watching her coworkers move ahead while she stayed stuck. That promotion would give her the recognition she deserved. One night to change everything, she summed up. Michael paused. He didn't respond right away. He tried to figure out if this was some kind of test, a provocation, or just poorly timed honesty. But her face was serious. There was no joke, no sarcasm, no regret, just conviction, like she was explaining a business decision. He stared at her for a long time. His chest tightened, his stomach churned, his mind scrambling to make sense of it all. His world was falling apart, and she didn't even seem to notice. Or maybe she did and just didn't care. She said she'd thought long and hard before telling him and that she preferred honesty. It was better to tell the truth than to hide it. She hoped he was mature enough to understand that it was just sex. No weight, no emotional betrayal. Michael picked up his wine glass, gently swirled the liquid, and drank it all in one go. She kept her eyes on him, maybe expecting a scene, an explosion, some reaction that would confirm how serious what she just said really was. But he stayed still. He said he understood how important her career was. He said he respected her ambitions. Then he got up from the table, went to the bedroom, grabbed his phone, checked a few messages, and sat in silence for a while, letting everything settle. The dinner stayed untouched. The smell of the food didn't matter anymore. Neither did the taste. Sarah didn't push to keep talking. She just finished eating and went to the bathroom to remove her makeup. She seemed calm, like she had lifted a huge weight off her shoulders. Deep down, she believed he'd understand, that over time this would be forgotten, maybe even forgiven. Michael stayed there motionless. He felt the floor solid beneath his feet, but everything inside him was shaking. Her words kept repeating in his head like recordings. It's just one night. It's for us. It's just sex.
Each phrase pierced him like nails in flesh. He went to bed later when she was already asleep. He watched her face for a while. He tried to find there the reason he'd once chosen her. He searched for the woman he dreamed of building a life with, raising a family, growing old together. But he didn't find her. Instead, he saw someone who had crossed a line without looking back, someone who had reduced their trust to a simple transaction of interests. And in that moment, in the darkness of the room, Michael made a decision that would change everything. He didn't say anything. He made no promises or threats. He simply realized that from that moment on, he was already a different man. He woke up earlier than usual, made coffee, and left it on the table like he always did. He left for work without saying much, his face carrying a strangely calm expression for someone who had just been hurt like that. Because what was growing inside him wasn't anger. It was clarity. Clarity about what he wanted, what he deserved, and what he was willing to accept. Some betrayals don't need shouting. They scream on their own through the absurdity of their existence. And Sarah's betrayals screamed loudly, even in complete silence. One morning, while she was in the shower, he picked up her bag from where she'd left it on the bed. Carefully, he placed a small hidden microphone inside the seam of the side pocket, a discreet device easy to conceal. The device transmitted live, directly to the app on his phone. Michael tested it, heard ambient sounds, and breathed a sigh of relief when he confirmed it worked perfectly. He put everything back and left the room before she finished her shower. When she kissed him quickly on the cheek to say goodbye and said it would be a busy day, he simply smiled and wished her good luck. At 11:28 a.m., Michael was listening clearly. Sarah was on the phone with a friend, casually chatting about weekend plans, laughing, making relaxed comments, seeming at ease. The background noise included typing, footsteps, scattered voices. Suddenly, a male voice appeared in the background. It was Brandon, her boss. Michael recognized it immediately. He approached her office with his usual confidence. "Got a minute?" She said yes, still holding the phone to her shoulder, asking her friend to wait a second. Brandon came in and without hesitation closed the door behind him. The click of the lock was recorded. The tone of the conversation changed. Michael could hear him pulling up a chair and sitting right next to her. The sound shifted. Michael could now hear their voices more clearly. Sarah stayed silent for a few seconds, probably typing or trying to focus. Brandon continued. "Friday night we're still on, right?" She confirmed, saying she'd already booked the room at the Hotel Monarch. Check-in at 8 p.m. Michael heard it all. "I hope you're ready to move up in life. It'll be good for both of us." "Brandon, relax. This is the office. Anyone could hear." He laughed. Then came muffled sounds. Kisses. The sound of her breathing quickening. She whispered firmly, "Just kisses here. Nothing more. If someone hears, it gets complicated." "Relax. I'm just celebrating early," Brandon replied. Michael closed his eyes, controlling his anger. The microphone kept transmitting. More kisses, whispered words, and then the sound of a chair sliding back. The conversation ended with Brandon saying her promotion was guaranteed after this. Then he walked away. Michael put the phone in his pocket and took a deep breath. There were no more doubts, and now he had proof. His plan was already in motion, but it needed adjustments. Michael took another deep breath and dialed the number he'd found on Sarah's phone a few days earlier. It belonged to Jessica, Brandon's wife. They'd never spoken before. When she answered, her voice was cold, suspicious. "Hello?" He introduced himself carefully, gave his name, explained who he was, and asked her to listen calmly because what he had to say involved both her husband and his wife. There was a pause. She didn't respond, but she didn't hang up either. So he kept going. He told her he'd noticed strange behavior from his wife, discovered she was planning an intimate meeting with Brandon, and that's why he'd installed a hidden microphone in her bag. He said he'd just heard a conversation between them at work inside her office. Kisses, plans, confirmation of a hotel meeting Friday night. All recorded. Silence on the other end of the line. "I have the recording. I can send it to you, but not yet. I want you to go there and catch them in the act." "In the act?" "Yes. Friday, they're meeting at the Hotel Monarch, 1407. Check-in at 8 p.m. It's already reserved under her name. I'll send you the details by message." She responded angrily but clearly. "I'm going there and I'm filming everything. I'm going to ruin that idiot and that opportunist. You can count on me." Michael sent the location, audio files, and all the relevant details. Time, reservation, name, hotel floor. Everything. On Friday night, Sarah left the house dressed like she was going to an important ceremony. She said it was a private executive event, and it would be better if she went alone. He complimented her, held the car door, helped with her bag, she took it with her as always, and wished her good night with a smile she didn't understand. As soon as she left, He grabbed his phone and activated the live feed from the hidden microphone.
He heard her arrive at the hotel, speak with the front desk, the elevator going up, then footsteps in the hallway, the door opening. A little later, Brandon arrived. He greeted Sarah with a satisfied voice. They said the place was better than expected. Kisses, comments about the night they'd have, promises about the position she'd soon hold. Time passed, and shortly after, he heard a loud, sharp sound, a knock on the door, 3 times. What they didn't know was that Jessica had arrived at the Hotel Monarch about 40 minutes before Brandon and Sarah's scheduled meeting. She checked in and discreetly requested a room. She went in, locked the door, and turned off the lights. She left her phone charging and sat on the edge of the bed, heart racing, but eyes steady. She waited for the perfect moment. When she sensed they were more confident and distracted, she stood up, grabbed her phone, left the room, and went straight to the door across the hall. She knocked hard 3 times. It was time to turn the tables. Silence. Sarah asked who it was, her voice tense. Brandon approached slowly. She went to the door, looked through the peephole, on the other side. Jessica shouted, "Open this door, Brandon. I know you're in there, and I know who's with you." The door opened. Jessica walked in with her phone recording. Sarah tried to pull the sheet to cover herself. Brandon stood frozen, unsure whether to run or try to explain. "This is your idea of a promotion, Sarah? This is how you earn a position, sleeping with another woman's husband?" Sarah tried to say something, but Jessica cut her off. "You've destroyed my marriage, and you're about to lose yours too. Because all of this," she pointed the camera at the room, showing the 2 of them hiding in shame, "will be seen by everyone who needs to see."
Before leaving, she told Brandon not to even think about coming home. Then she slammed the door without another word. And before she even reached the lobby, she had already sent the video directly to the company CEO's email. No edits, no captions, just raw, humiliating footage of everything that needed to be seen. Michael got confirmation a few minutes later. A single message from Jessica. Mission accomplished. He took off the headphones, closed the phone app, and stayed quiet. There was nothing more to say. What had started as a cold, calculated plan had now become final. The scandal was unfolding, and he was ready for the next step. In the days leading up to the hotel meeting, Michael didn't stay idle. While Sarah slept, while she talked about meetings and fake plans, he had already contacted a divorce attorney. He explained everything in detail, showed the audio recordings, attached evidence, and asked for speed. He wanted everything ready to act the moment the plan was complete. And it was. The divorce papers were already printed, finances organized, and the lawyer ready to file the case the same day. He also spoke with the bank manager, set up a new account solely in his name, separated assets, and prepared digital access for immediate execution. He was just waiting for the right moment. When his phone vibrated with Jessica's message, "Mission accomplished." Michael took a deep breath and moved into action. Within minutes, he transferred funds from the joint accounts to his secure account, blocked her access to the bank, canceled her cards, and changed the code on the smart lock at home. Then he prepared an envelope with the divorce papers already signed by him and placed Sarah's packed bags in the garage filled with clothes, shoes, and basic items. Almost an hour later, around 11 p.m., Sarah parked her car in the garage and tried to enter through the front door. The keypad rejected the password. She tried again. Nothing.
She knocked on the door, nervous, calling for Michael. On the other side, he responded firmly without opening the door. "Here are the divorce papers. Your bags are in the garage. Take them and leave." An envelope slid under the door. She picked it up with trembling hands. opened it and saw the documents with his signature and the realization that everything had been prepared in advance. She tried to justify herself. "Michael, wait, I did this for us, for our life. It was an opportunity." He replied coldly, "You did it for yourself. Now reap what you sowed." She stood there for a few seconds, tears welling up, heart racing. Then she walked to the garage, grabbed her bags, and returned to her car, not knowing where to go. She decided to go back to the hotel. Maybe Brandon could help her. When she knocked on the door, he was still there, sitting on the edge of the bed, phone in hand, face pale. He opened the door without a word. Sarah walked in, trembling. "Did they see the video?" she asked. Brandon didn't answer right away. He just looked at her and said, "The CEO just called. We've been fired, both of us." She sat on the edge of the bed, silent. Then she asked, "Now what? What do we do?" He gave a humorless, tired laugh. "We." "There's no we, Sarah. I'll figure out what to do with my life. You? Well, it'd be better if you disappeared from my sight. You've only brought ruin." She begged, "Can I stay here tonight?" Brandon was direct. "No. Leave." She picked up her bags again and left the hotel with no destination. She called a friend, who took her in out of pity. She slept on a mattress on the floor, listening to messages from family members criticizing her, and news spreading quickly at work like wildfire. Over time, the scandal went public. Brandon lost his marriage. Jessica filed for divorce, citing adultery, revealing enough details to eliminate any chance of reconciliation. Sarah also officially divorced Michael, but she got nothing. Co-workers talked in group chats. Screenshots and videos circulated in internal forums. Neither Brandon nor Sarah found new jobs quickly. Brandon's name, once associated with leadership and results, was now synonymous with betrayal. No company wanted to take the risk of hiring him. Sarah, alone, unemployed, homeless, and divorced, ended up depending on the kindness of others. And Michael? He didn't look back. Because those who plant destruction will one day find themselves harvesting exactly that. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss any updates. See you next time.